Milo loved noodles more than anything. Spaghetti, ramen, macaroni. He'd eat them for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. One night, he whispered before bed, "I wish I could eat noodles all day." In his dream, the world turned into Noodle Land. Noodle swings, noodle slides, noodle rain. He slurped his way through forests of spaghetti trees and swam in a cheesy noodle pool. But after hours of munching, his belly started to ache. He asked a broccoli tree for help, but it frowned. "You never wanted me before?" Milo woke up with a groan. Too many noodles. The next day, he smiled at his plate. "Half noodles, half veggies. Balance," he said, "is the secret sauce." And from then on, he still loved noodles, just not all day. All Rafi ever said was, "All I want is food. Lots of food." Pizza for breakfast, burgers for lunch, and cake for dinner. He even dreamed of swimming in jelly and sliding down spaghetti hills. One day, he wished out loud, "I wish the whole world was made of food." Poof, his wish came true. The streets were chocolate, trees grew donuts, and clouds rained lemonade. Rafi was thrilled. At first, but soon he slipped on melted ice cream, got stuck in sticky syrup, and had no real water to drink. Okay, he cried. "I want normal food, and maybe a carrot." Suddenly, everything went back to normal, and his mom handed him a plate of warm, healthy food. He smiled and said, "All I want now is balance." It was Allie's birthday, and he had the biggest chocolate cake ever, topped with sprinkles and a single glowing candle. He was about to take the first bite when he saw a little boy outside the window, watching quietly. It was Sammy, the new kid who hadn't made any friends yet. Allie paused, cut a piece, and ran outside. "Want some?" he asked, holding out the cake. Sammy's eyes lit up. "Really?" They sat on the steps, sharing the slice, laughing between bites. That one piece of cake tasted better than the whole thing, because it was shared. From that day on, Allie and Sammy became best friends. Sometimes the smallest piece brings the biggest joy. At lunch break, all the kids rushed to the cafeteria. Sam, Zara, and Ayan skipped the fruit and veggies, grabbing fries, chips, and soda instead. "Healthy food is for grown-ups." Ayan laughed, munching on a burger. But soon they felt sleepy in class, couldn't run fast at recess, and Sam even got a tummy ache. Their teacher, Miss Layla, noticed and brought a surprise the next day. Colorful smoothies and crunchy veggie sticks shaped like stars. "Just try one bite," she smiled. To their surprise, the food was tasty. They felt more energy, played better, and no one had a tummy ache. Zara grinned. Maybe healthy food isn't so bad after all, if it looks fun. From then on, junk food became a treat, not the main course. Rayan loved chips, soda, and candy. "Veggies are boring," he'd say, stuffing his face with sugary snacks. One night, he had the strangest dream. He woke up in Junkland, where talking burgers bounced and candy rained from the sky. At first, it was fun, until his stomach started to ache. The soda river turned sticky, and the candy monsters chased him, shouting, "Eat more!" He screamed, "I want broccoli!" Poof, he woke up, sweaty, dizzy, and holding an empty chip bag. The next morning, Rayan asked for fruits and a salad. His mom blinked in surprise. From then on, he still enjoyed treats, but only sometimes. Because now he knew, too much junk turns dreams into nightmares. And broccoli? Not boring at all. One morning, Nia followed a glowing butterfly into the woods behind her house. Deeper and deeper she went until she stumbled through a curtain of vines and into a magic world. The sky shimmered with colors she'd never seen. Trees whispered her name, and the rivers hummed lullabies. A fox in a top hat bowed politely and said, "Welcome, dream traveler." In this world, clouds were made of cotton candy. Books flew like birds, and laughter echoed like music. Nia spent what felt like hours exploring, dancing, and making friends with talking flowers and glowing frogs. When she stepped back through the vines, only a minute had passed. No one believed her story. But every night, Nia saw the butterfly waiting at her window, ready to take her back. And she knew the magic world was real, because she carried its wonder in her heart. The sky turned gray and thunder rumbled, but little Arya's eyes sparkled with joy. "It's raining!" she shouted, kicking off her shoes and running outside. Puddles splashed beneath her feet as she twirled and laughed, arms wide like a bird in flight. Her dress clung to her, soaked and muddy, but she didn't care. The world felt like music. The patter of raindrops, the drip from rooftops, the squeal of her boots. A neighbor frowned from the window. "She'll catch a cold." But Arya just smiled up at the sky, hair dripping, heart warm. In that moment, the whole world washed away. Worries, rules, everything. Leaving only her, the rain, and the purest kind of joy. Sometimes happiness falls from the sky. You just have to dance in it. In a quiet neighborhood, 4 little kids, Rafi, Zara, Leo, and Mina, were convinced their next-door neighbor, Mr. Grumps, was a witch in disguise. He never smiled, had wild hair, and his cat always hissed. "One more growl and he'll turn us into frogs," Leo whispered. One brave afternoon, they crept into his yard to retrieve a lost ball. Just as Mina reached it, the door creaked open. "Looking for this?" Mr. Grumps asked, holding the ball. And smiling. Turns out he wasn't scary, just lonely. He invited them in for lemonade and told funny stories. His cat even purred. From then on, Mr. Grumps wasn't a witch. He was their favorite neighbor, and the kids never judged a grumpy face again. Every morning, Mina, a brave little girl, climbed the hills with her basket and her smoke puffer. She wasn't scared of bees. She called them her buzzing friends. Mina gently sang to the hives as she harvested golden honey, never taking too much. The bees seemed to dance around her, never stinging, as if they knew she cared. The villagers called her Honey Girl and lined up for her jars. Her honey was sweeter than anyone else's. Some said it had magic in every drop. One day, a storm destroyed many hives. Mina cried, but still climbed the hill to check on her bees. To her surprise, the bees had rebuilt. Bigger, stronger, and they left a glowing honeycomb just for her. From that day on, Mina didn't just gather honey. She carried a friendship made of wings, flowers, and golden trust. One sunny morning, Little Red Riding Hood set off to visit her grandmother, basket in hand. But this time she spotted something new in the forest. A shimmering golden door standing between the trees. Curious, she stepped through and instantly found herself in a magical world. Talking animals wore tiny hats, cupcakes grew on trees, and the big bad wolf. He was a friendly chef baking pies. The golden portal had taken her to a world where fairy tales mixed and rules flipped. Red laughed, played, and even shared cookies with the reformed wolf. But as the sun began to set, the portal began to fade. She waved goodbye and stepped back into her forest, basket still full, and heart a little fuller too. From then on, she always looked for the golden glow, because even brave girls love a little magic. Bobo the clown was the saddest clown in town. His jokes fell flat, his pies never splatted, and even his balloon animals looked depressed. One day, while digging through his messy costume trunk, he found an old wooden spoon with glitter on the handle. He sighed. Great, now even my spoons sparkle. But when he tapped it on his cereal bowl, poof. The cereal turned into a banana cream pie and flew right into his face. The audience and Bobo roared with laughter. Realizing the spoon was magical, Bobo used it in every show. It juggled, danced, and even turned rubber chickens into real ones. Oops. He was no longer the sad clown. He was the star with the silliest spoon in the circus. And from then on, the louder the laughter, the brighter Bobo's red nose glowed. Every evening, Ava wandered the old library, drawn to its silence and forgotten stories. One rainy night, while flipping through a dusty book, she heard a whisper. "That's my favorite." Startled, she looked up, but saw no one. Days passed and the whispers continued. Soft, kind, curious. She began to talk back. His name was Elias, a ghost who had once lived and died in the village long ago. He was gentle, poetic, and lonely, just like her. They shared stories, dreams, laughter. Ava began visiting every night, heart fluttering at every whisper, every flicker of light. One evening, she whispered, I wish I could see you." For a brief moment, the candlelight danced, and there he was, pale, glowing, with the saddest eyes. They couldn't touch, but their hearts somehow did. And though they came from different worlds, love bloomed between the living and the lost, in the quiet corners of an old library where time no longer mattered. Every evening, Rex was a scrappy, aggressive dog who growled at anyone who came near. No one dared adopt him. He lived alone, cold and unwanted. One rainy afternoon, a wheelchair rolled into the shelter yard. It was a quiet boy named Sammy, who couldn't walk but had the warmest eyes. He didn't flinch when Rex barked. Instead, he smiled and gently held out a treat. For the first time, Rex didn't growl. Day by day, Sammy visited. Rex sat beside him, calm, protective, loyal. When Sammy laughed, Rex wagged his tail like never before. The shelter staff was amazed. Two souls, both misunderstood, had found each other. Sammy's parents adopted Rex, and from that day on, they were inseparable. A fierce dog and a brave boy, healing each other with nothing but love and friendship. Once upon a time, in a quiet village, lived a little girl named Mira. She was kind, but always sad. No one knew why. She just carried a soft, quiet sadness in her heart. One day, while walking alone near the edge of the forest, Mira found a tiny tree with silver leaves that shimmered like moonlight. On its branch hung a single glowing red apple. As she reached out, the tree whispered gently, "Take a bite, little one. Let your heart feel light." Mira took a small bite. At once, she felt warmth in her chest, like a hug. Memories of laughter, love, and sunshine filled her. For the first time in a long while, she smiled. From that day on, the tree grew more magical apples, and Mira shared them with anyone who felt alone. And so the girl and the tree spread quiet happiness, one heart at a time. Tung Tung was just a plain wooden spoon lying forgotten in a kitchen drawer. But one day, little Zoya picked him up during a cooking video and tapped him on a bowl. Tung Tung. The sound was catchy. Viewers loved it. "Do that again," they commented. Soon, every video featured Tung Tung's rhythm. Fans made remixes, dances, even merch, all starring the spoon. Tung Tung became a household name. One day, Zoya entered a talent show with Tung Tung. She drummed a funky beat while cooking noodles. The crowd went wild. Judges gave a standing ovation. From forgotten utensil to global star, Tung Tung was now more than a spoon. He was a legend. In a quiet village, a starving boy named Amir wandered the streets, his stomach aching and eyes hollow. He hadn't eaten in 2 days. While searching through an old trash pile, he found a strange wooden spoon carved with tiny stars. As he touched it, the spoon whispered, "I'm Tung Tung. Say what you crave." "Rice and chicken," Amir muttered. Suddenly, a steaming plate appeared before him. He blinked, then ate with tears in his eyes. For the first time in days, he felt warm and full. Each day, Tung Tung created new dishes. Sweet mangoes, warm bread, spicy curry, whatever Amir wished. But the spoon had one rule: share when you can. So Amir began feeding other hungry kids in the village. Soon, a small crowd gathered daily, and no one went to bed with an empty belly. Word spread, but Amir never let greed touch his heart. He knew the real magic wasn't just in the food. It was in kindness, and a wooden spoon that chose a boy with nothing, but who gave everything.